black guest just did it on live TV when CNN asked this one question about Trump. It's no great secret that President Trump and the mainstream media have a less than loving relationship. What might have started as a casual antagonism has blossomed into a full-on war between President Trump and what he calls the fake news media. Conservatives have long considered it an injustice that the media has remained unchecked, while the left considers it an affront to their character to presume that they might have ulterior motives in the negative coverage that they provide for certain politicians. It's hard to imagine a newscaster without a bias. Sometimes the bias is more obvious than others, and in the case of CNN's coverage of the alleged scandal between President Trump and porn star, Stormy Daniels, the coverage has been extensive and constant. However, not all of the guests that CNN brings on their show are as anti-Trump as the network itself. The Grio reports that contributor Dennard wanted viewers to know that there's a lot more to the situation than meets the eye, and that respect for the Trump family should have some influence on the proceedings. Friday, a panel discussion on CNN about President Trump's alleged settlement with porn star Stormy Daniels took a left turn right on air. During the segment, host Brooke Baldwin struggled to keep the conversation civil between never-Trumper Rick Wilson and pro-Trump CNN commentator Dennard. When Dennard asserted that Trump's sex life as a private citizen wasn't relevant to his current presidency, Wilson slammed his defense of the president's actions. "I'm sorry, I feel you struggling here, let me help you out here," Wilson said sarcastically. "I'm not struggling," Dennard countered. Wilson then argued that Trump's pattern of extramarital affairs should be condemned the same way Republicans condemned former President Bill Clinton. Dennard stood his ground, pointing out that the allegations of sexual misconduct against Clinton came when he served as Arkansas Attorney General and Governor. If your standard is that low that you're okay with Trump screwing porn stars, if you're okay with him screwing porn stars, just say the words, "I am okay with Trump screwing porn stars," Wilson replied. "You know, what I will say is that you have no respect for Mrs. Trump," Dennard scolded him. "You have no respect for his children, you have no respect for his family, because this has nothing to do with him as a candidate, it has nothing to do with him as a sitting president. You can dig up dirty laundry, and I pray to God no one goes back into your past," he continued. The exchange just got uglier and more personal from that point forward. "Rick, I don't know you, but I would advise you not to question my character because you don't know me," Dennard warned. "What are you going to do?" Wilson asked. "Step up." Baldwin's request, sick of "no personal insults, please," fell on deaf ears. Check out the outrageous exchange below. The argument that Dennard is attempting to make is that the American people have made it clear that they consider the code of ethics to be different for a person in public service than what they did while a private citizen. Whether that will hold true for the next election cycle still remains to be seen. However, when this inevitably does surface when President Trump runs for re-election, Trump supporters will be looking to the character of both the president and Daniels to decide who to believe. While President Trump doesn't have a reputation quite as squeaky clean as, say, his vice president, he has turned out to have a rapport that is fairly honest. Daniels, on the other hand, has a reputation that even her own mother hopes won't affect the president's chances at re-election, saying, "If Mr. Trump runs 4 more times, I would vote for him every time," Sheila Gregory said. "I like him. I like the way he handles things. It's time this country is put back where it belongs, taking care of the people here instead of the people who don't belong here." "It hurts me deeply," said Sheila Gregory, 64. "My friends all say the same thing. I can't believe that is the same sweet child, you took such good care of her." I say, "How do you think I feel?" Gregory said she hasn't spoken to her daughter in 12 years, around the time of the Trump encounter, which they've never discussed. She says she calls Daniels every few weeks, but they never connect. She says she doesn't know why her daughter stopped talking to her. It's going to be a big blow to Daniels' case if she does ever decide to tell her version of the story, that her own mother doesn't believe her. Conservatives have been asking for more respect for the president and his family for the entire time he's been in office. While that might be a pipe dream, it's clear that at least some of America still wants to see him in office for a second term.